How's it going, everybody? Doing a gum chewing Star Wars Jedi Survivor review here today. I obviously played it on the PS5. I completed it Friday night. No, Thursday night, sorry. I ended up putting 35 hours into it. Some of those, I don't know if it counts, because a few times I went idle. I went to eat dinner or whatever. So there might have been an hour in there of not a true 35 hours. I did most. I could probably pump another 5 to 10 hours into it because I gotta find all legendary enemies or whatever. I didn't do all the bounties. I think I have maybe 7 of those left if I so choose to do them. I did find all Jedi chambers, meditation chambers. I did a bunch of the rumors, not all of them. And there's plenty of stuff I could still find, obviously. Scans, BD scans, force. I didn't do all the force tears. I probably didn't find all of them either, but yeah. It's a really cool game. I admit, I didn't start to drag, but I was kind of just like, my feelings on it, I think, dropped a little bit towards the end, and I'll talk about the things I liked and didn't like, but it takes place after the Fallen Order, obviously. Cal Kestis is now not with his original crew at the moment. Grease, Marin, and Seer. He's got a new crew in the beginning on Coruscant doing a mission. It's Bode, the twins, Babs, and Bravo, I believe the other guy's name is. You're doing a mission, and I was like, oh, these are kind of cool characters here. I was kind of liking them even after 5 minutes, and then there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this review, by the way, so I might, every time I get to a main one, I might just say it, if you want to watch parts and then skip it. They all bite it except one. I was like, okay then. You leave, and then your ship gets messed up. You're on the Mantis still, and from the first one, and you end up landing on you make your way to Koba, the one planet. That's where Grease's saloon is, and cantina, whatever the hell they call it. I think it was saloon. And you hang out with him, and then you start doing stuff on that planet. The other guy, Bode, survives, and you're like, oh, I gotta do some stuff, I'll meet you again, or whatever. And you do hook back up. I said, you go to the saloon, and then you start doing, you gotta find parts for the Mantis to fix it, and then it slowly goes from there. You come across this robot. You're in one of the meditation chambers, you come across this robot, what was its name? Damn it, Z. It's a High Republic droid. And then you find out, like, she's telling you about it, and you start seeing Force echoes and stuff, and you see I think his name is Dagan, Sarah, maybe his last name was. I forget the woman's name that was also there. Kareth, maybe? He was a High Republic Jedi, so was she. And you find out what they were doing, what Z was supposed to do, because they were on this Koba, and they want to get to this planet called Tanalorr. This is like 200 years before the events now. And, they want to get this planet because they can train Jedi. Dagan's like, or Dagan, he wants to train Jedi there and stuff, and they won't have to worry about stuff because this planet's hard to find, and all this shit's a pain in the ass to get to. You have to do all this special shit, right? These compasses, you got to get to line them up, and then they actually get there, I guess, for a little bit, and I forget what this group was called, the Nihili or something, attack them, and Dagan's like, I want to stay, we got to stay, we got to fight, and the other Jedi Order is like, no. Spoilers here, eventually you get to this part of this array, and you find this guy, Dagan. He's in like a stasis type thing. He's missing an arm at this point too, and you fight him briefly, and he kind of turns. I guess he had turned back then too. He had turned, he'd start to like, his passions were going elsewhere or whatever. So he's kind of, he's one of the main bad guys, I guess. And I like the character, actually. I don't think he was in it enough. I know he looked familiar. His name's Cody Fern. I'm like, I've seen this person somewhere. He was in some American Horror Story seasons, I believe. And he was in something else too. I'm like, this face looks really familiar. I actually like the character. And he's got his like second in command, Ravis, who was alive when he was, but when the Jedis took him out, they also, during the Purge, I guess. No, wait. This happened during the Purge, the Jedi Order, and back during the prequels. Or this happened before that. They tried to kill this guy Ravis, and they didn't. He wanted to get finished off, and the Jedi threw him in jail instead, and he got out. He got out of jail, I believe, during the Purge, and he hooks back up with his old master. Blah blah blah. So you're chasing him around, trying to find stuff and whatever. I'm not gonna go too crazy with the story. And then you meet on Jeddah is another planet you go to, so you meet Cordova from the first game. He wasn't in the first game, I don't think. Like in the flesh, he was mostly seen through hologram stuff. He was BD1's of it. It was for his droid first until he found Cal. So he's in this one. You get to meet him. Seer is back. You end up hooking up with your crew again. Marin was with Seer. Grease, obviously, in the saloon. You meet up with him, and they get back together. You occasionally have Bode or Marin fighting alongside you. They're eventually they fight alongside you, and you can hit R1 and square, and they'll do a special move on them, help you out. They'll also be taking out enemies, while you're fighting as well. And they also have to do stuff in the environment to help you at points. You direct them to do something to help you out, move something or whatever. You're getting typical force powers. You're upgrading as always. You find you level up and you get skill points, so you have different lightsaber stances. I did dual. Cat just let out a big snore. Dual blade, and I was doing the cross guard, which is like a longer saber with the hilt, kind of like Kylo Ren has, to protect your hand from getting chopped off. I was using that in double bladed. There's also dual wield. There's just two lightsabers, single stance, and there's also in this one, you get a blaster and a lightsaber. I didn't use that one that much. I wasn't good at it. And then you can upgrade the stances. You can upgrade your force powers with you can do confusion in this one, where you can have enemies attack each other, and a few times you do the manipulate their mind thing a few times in the game, but you can have enemies fight each other and stuff. A lot of stuff from the other game, the first Fallen Order's in there. Oh, you also take out I think it was the Ninth Sister. You take out. Sorry about the noise in the other room. You take her out in the beginning on Coruscant, and then they're non-existent again in this game. The Inquisitors. Use Cal the whole game. You use Seer briefly. I ranted about this in my eating turkey sandwich video. That was my little rant on that. Not playing as her. The fight she gets into. You actually use her for a little bit, and it's really cool. Like, you're kicking ass and shit, and then spoilers here, the usual shows up. Vader shows up, but it was a hard boss fight, which I didn't necessarily have much of a problem with, except some of the cheesy BS where, in this game, when you fight an enemy, they have a special power, like an unblockable attack. Although in this game, you hold circle and you can do a dodge. It's like a meditation type dodge thing. But sometimes you avoid it fine, but other times his arm seems to reach out a little further to grab you, and then you clearly dodged it. And the boss fight, and this has the other boss fights as well, most of my thing. These mid-boss fight cutscenes where they get down to a certain a level of thing, and it's annoying because then when you die once, you gotta skip each one of these things. It's annoying as well. But that was annoying. What else was annoying? I'll get into more of that in a little bit. I don't know why I skipped to that fight, but the thing, I'll just briefly rant about this very quickly. Vader shows up and you beat his ass pretty much. Even though he's a hard fight, you're beating his ass throughout the fight. And in the cutscene, like, he takes Seer out, but he stumbles off, like, busted up, like, because everyone's kicking Vader's ass these days, right? Like I said in the rant, his legend or the myth of Vader or whatever has been so downgraded over the years to where, like, was he even that powerful? Because this guy everybody's kicking his ass, He might take people out, but he's always getting his ass kicked instead. He should have dominated this fight to where you're using Seer and holding your own. Maybe get a shot in or two, but he's too dominant. No, not in this one. You rough him up, and he kind of doesn't get lucky, but resourceful. You know, that resourcefulness he gets from Obi-Wan. That annoyed me. The fight itself was kind of cool, but it's like, why do I have to? Why does Vader? He might even show up, you know? Because here's another spoiler. There's another enemy outside of Doggin who betrays you. One of the team from the beginning betrays you. If you know who I said who survived, and I actually like that twist. And he's also, more spoilers. He was a Jedi as well, but he's working for the Empire in secret. So Vader and the other Empire doesn't know about this. And this guy's doing stuff for him, and you find out that was a nice little thing. So he ends up becoming the kind of main villain. I don't know why I skipped all that stuff, but the same thing with the other games. You're doing a lot of parkour stuff, and Prince of Persia type wall running, jumping. You get a dash move from Sarah, so you can get through these green things. Marin, sorry. I don't know why I said Seer, I meant to say Marin. So you go through these green things. There's a really cool part with her and Jedha when the Empire's attacking that. You're doing this crazy stuff, going through these little kind of portal type things and stuff. It's really cool. Although Marin is and even in the first game, she's extremely overpowered. Like, why isn't she just kicking everybody's ass? Because she almost has more better powers than Cal does at this point, you know. And it's cool actually. I like the cantina stuff on, like, because you can go out and do rumors and find people. So you're bringing in like a DJ robot. And these other people come in when you find them, and then the cantina gets more and more filled as the game goes on. The parkour stuff's good. Some of it's a bit ridiculous how you're doing this crazy, you know, stuff twist around you, this and everything else. There's also, and BD1 gets his upgrades too. There's one in this where you gotta fire these kind of beams to blow up this stuff, this kind of corrosion, I forget what they call it. And he uses a thing where you can extend it so that that does stuff into puzzles, and you can also splice robots when they get injured enough in battle. What else does he do? He does something else. There's a photo mode in this game like all the other ones, but he does something else, I thought. Didn't he? I don't know. He's scanning stuff as well, and he gives you stim packs. You can find new stim packs throughout the game. Yeah, I didn't get all of them. I had 10 at the end. I think you start with 2, maybe. There's probably maybe 1 or 2 I didn't find. Like I said, the Jedi meditation chambers are puzzle chambers. And there's parts in this game where you get there's almost like a crystal thing, and that usually gives you a skill point, a perk. Perks you use. You get a bunch of perk slots. You can upgrade the perk slots as you do certain things or whatever. And you can put them in there that sometimes it helps with, you can dodge a blaster shot, or your damage is a little better, or you get more experience and stuff like that. You get a little health back from taking enemies, that kind of stuff. But there's certain ones have a certain amount of spots they fill, so one might fill 3 spots, 1, 2, so you kind of got to get strategic with what you put in there. You'll get that, and you'll get big experience from these things. The Force Tears, you just go, this is new, I'm pretty sure. The Force Tears, you go in, and you got to do fights usually, or use your Jedi powers to get through a little obstacle course. And then you fulfill the memory type thing, and you get big experience from that as well. And certain bigger enemies give you more experience like the other ones. You're fighting the Empire, you're fighting all the beasts and the creatures. They bring back a lot of stuff from the Clone Wars, which is cool, the prequels. The battle droids, the B1 battle droids, the B2 battle droids, the droidicas. You'll see their vulture, the vulture droids, the little ships. You see a lot of the Clone Wars type stuff in this game, which I thought was cool. They're working for the Raiders. You're also fighting Raiders on Koba, and they're fighting with them, because you'll see them fight the Empire occasionally, and the creatures will fight other enemies as well. You know, fighting's fun, as always. You're doing a lot of combos. You can get new combos when you upgrade your force powers. You have force pull, force push. You push in the R3 and L3, and you get a slow down time, and then it becomes more of a Sith type power, a dark side power later on. But you do that, because that's what this game is. Cal's kind of fighting throughout the game with himself. He's kind of pushing himself towards the dark side a little bit, but he's trying to keep control and stuff like that. I will say one of the things I did not like about this game, there's only 2 big planets, Jedha and Cohort, to explore. And Jedha's cool, but it's like a desert planet, so it's you gotta travel. You can travel on animals in this game too. You can tame beasts. There's one you grab on to get the different areas of flying thing. I don't know what it is. Kelter, I think it's called. And there's 2 other ones you could ride. I forget what those are called. Because the desert area is pretty big and vast in spots, so you have to, run around on those. And you're finding different I forget what her name is. She'll give you bounties. You get the heads up on some of these bounties. You bring bounties back to her. You can buy stuff from her. You can buy usually your blaster accessories there. Z you give data discs to, and she can give, I forget what she gives you. She gives you perks, I think. You can buy perks from her, and paints for your ship, for BD1 and yourself and the lightsaber. And you're finding gear so you can customize Cal, different haircuts, facial hair, different outfits. You can mess with his lightsaber and blaster as well. Because you go to your meditation points, those are your save points, you can fast travel, and the enemies always come back when you go there. If you save the enemy, if you rest, the enemies come back. You have to rest to get your stim packs back. I upgraded pretty well. I upgraded all my dual blade stands. I think 2 of my force powers fully upgraded. And all my a couple of my survival ones were 2 where you get more health, and stim packs to BD. You can use stim packs faster. You get more health from them, stuff like that. Graphically, it looks great. I mean, when you get to a new planet in these Star Wars games, it's always like, oh, it looks so cool. You get this little walkout, you see over this giant, this nice vista, you see all this shit. It looks really nice. All the character models are really nice in this game. Solid animations. I didn't run into any performance issues outside of the one I think I mentioned in another video. One of the stim packs glitched, but then I went back later after a reload and it worked fine. Like I said, all the game, you get different alien-type creatures in this as well. And Star Wars, right? So different types of species of people and creatures. Those are all cool. Everything looks nice. The voice acting's really well done. What was his name? Cameron Monaghan. Who does Cal? He was in Shameless. He was in Gotham show, and he was in a very bad Amityville horror movie. I forget her name. Who plays Seer? She's back again. All the people are back from the first one. Well, I think the guy who voiced Grays had died after this game was at least completed and not out yet. I'm pretty sure he died. But maybe I'm wrong. Apologies if I am the person's name. But the voice acting's all well done. The story's pretty cool. Like I said, I like the bad guy. The dog and bad guy was actually kind of interesting. But he's almost like a 70%. He bites it, and then, the other stuff comes into play with your former partner. Or your partner who's turned. Like I said, you find rumors in the cantina. People give you different rumors and stuff. You find also you have there's a garden on top of the canteen or the saloon, whatever it's called. And there's a giant aquarium in there. So this guy Scuva you find him throughout the game, and he'll get you fish to put in there. And you're getting new plants, chopping up and getting seeds out in the wild, out in the open world areas. And this person you meet ends up doing the garden stuff up top. So you do some gardening and shit. And you get these new powers, and you can access new areas in the game and stuff. There's these balls that come at you that you gotta throw, they explode. Like I said, you gotta use that stuff, I don't know what it's called, to burn away this shit. Puzzles are pretty good. Some you're using this, like, you gotta force push these kind of like little ball things, and then you gotta do puzzles to get them to go the right way and stuff. That was fun. Like I said, it looks really nice. The worlds look nice. There's not enough of them. There's only the 2 main planets. Coruscant you're on, but briefly, and you can go back, but it's not a big area of it. It looks nice, but there's not a lot of exploration in it at all. And you go to a moon base, and kind of an asteroid moon base. And Tanalorr you're on so briefly, it's so small that I don't even count it. That was disappointing because there's more planets to explore in Fallen Order. Although Kohor is really nice, and it's big, and Jedha's big too, but it's more like openy and almost wastelandy desert. So I didn't like that one as much. The core stuff's nice, and you go in, like you said, you get more people in the cantina, and there's more people in there chilling and stuff. I was kind of hoping for more of a build up this settlement type thing that they do in other games, but that really didn't happen. And this boss fights throughout. I said in another vid that I didn't find this one as hard as the other one. I'm playing on the same difficulty Jedi Knight that I played in the last one. The Vader fight kicked my ass, but whatever. That's expected. But even the end boss fight, I didn't even die one time. And some of the other boss fights, I bit it once or twice, and throughout the world, sometimes I fell into pits about 1,000 times, but you don't die from that unless your health goes all the way down. They'll take away some each time. You get a grappling hook thing as well in this to help you do your parkour stuff. All of that stuff you're doing, that you didn't in the other one. I didn't like there was not enough planets. I didn't like that. That was disappointing me at the end because I was like, I wanted to explore more. I said, this legendary boss fights. But I actually thought about it later on. I'm like, well, it would also make sense, and they probably didn't do this in that sense. Did I just... Gross. I didn't... Maybe because Cal is more experienced Jedi, maybe the game, I don't know if the developers had this in mind, but each difficulty you're on, maybe it's not as hard because he's now more experienced of a Jedi, so it would be easier. If that was the case, that's kind of cool. And there's a couple other things you collect to give to other people. There's a thing, I forget the person's name on Jedi, you give them stuff, they'll sell you shit as well. Like I said, you get the rumors. Most of the rumors are on Kohor. Is that what it's called? Koha? I don't know. Koho. I don't know what that was called. I did like it quite a bit, but I wanted to explore more planets, and I was ashamed that you didn't get to see any more. I want to say there's maybe 2 more planets in Fallen Order, and they count these little bases, which look really nice, but it's not the same as going to these planets and finding new areas. It's always cool when you can access a new area and stuff. It was cool though. I did like it quite a bit. If you're keeping track with me ranking my PlayStation 5 games as I play them, this one will be in 3rd. I'll give it a score in a minute or two. This will be in 3rd behind Spider-Man 2 and Ghostwire Tokyo. I really liked it though. One's got to be in last for the time being, right? They'll move as it goes along. It took me 9 days to beat this one, and the other 2 games 9 days as well, which is weird. It's like I'm hitting the 9-day point. I just started Assassin's Creed Mirage actually last night, but like I said, it looks great. It looks really nice. Animations are nice. All the sound is great. Star Wars sound stuff. Soundtrack's pretty solid as well. The gameplay's fun. Some of the parkour is a little ridiculous, and some parts can be annoying with it. And sometimes I found myself doing it wrong, but somehow getting to where I need to get to. I'm like, I don't think I did that the right way. I'm trying to think of anything else I missed. There's actually it's actually a little bit of a pain in the ass parkour part where you're going through this, like, this thing is shooting out, like, it's charging up and shooting out this kind of laser thing or whatever, and you have to avoid that and book through and time it and stuff while it's coming through. It stops and you gotta book through. It was challenging, it was tough, but it was actually kind of fun, but that might piss you off a little bit. But the checkpoints are fairly good in this game too. You're not really getting screwed. If you die, you respawn. I guess it's like the Dark Souls games and all those games. You go to who killed you, that area, and you get your experience that you lost back. And there's a recap of Fallen Order at the beginning of the game. Explore an untamed galaxy. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of... I explored 2 planets, and it was okay. Like, it wasn't... the exploration was not enough, in my opinion. But I really liked the first planet. Or whatever they called it. That actually was a really good planet. That might be my favorite planet between this one and Fallen Order. I really liked it. But Jeddah was alright, too, but... it was just so big and open, and you have to get on these animals to get there quicker and stuff. I mean, you can fast travel for meditation points once you find them. Like I said, you find all types of stuff, the different things you can bring to vendors, the data discs, Jedi scrolls, and BD1 scan stuff, and you get story from them, which is kind of cool. You get story from the characters you meet in the game and stuff. Oh, I forgot about this, a cool little game. You play in the saloon. I forget what it's called, but it's like you challenge other people and you get units. When you scan units in, they'll add it to your game, and you get certain points each wave, and you gotta put like stormtroopers or beasts or raiders or robots or whatever you have in there, and they battle each other. It's kind of cool. I played that a couple of times. And the Force Echoes tell you stuff from the past as well. That fills in story stuff. Because I feel some of the random characters actually have cool stories when you find their little Force Echoes and stuff. I'm probably missing some stuff as always here. It was fun. I would give this an 8 out of 10. I was going more 8.5, and then Tanalorr was kind of a disappointment. I thought it was going to be bigger and I was going to do more there, but it was very quick. It literally might have been a half hour worth of gameplay, and I did 100% on it. It tells you percentages of each planet when you find everything. I'm 97 on Jedi, and I think I'm like 84, 85 on Kohor. I'm probably, whatever the hell it's called. And Coruscant was like in the 80s. I gotta go back there and do some random things, and the space station type things I had in the 90s, I believe. So I might go back and grab the other stuff. I might try to find the legendary beast. That might be the last thing I do, because I feel I did enough, you know. Like I said, the only thing I had a problem with was the Vader boss fight was unnecessary. He didn't need to show up at all. But, you know, he's like I said this in the rant, and he's like Pyramid Head, he's got to show up, you know, like, oh, he's like Pyramid Head showing up in the Silent Hill movie and Silent Hill Homecoming. He doesn't belong there. Well, he makes more sense in Star Wars Vader, so he would show up in places, but it's just kind of like he's in there for 5 minutes, and he looks like a clown. He dominates, but he gets his ass kicked at the same time. No, I should have been fighting, holding him off, maybe get a shot or two in, but he's not really damaged at all, and he takes you out, right? But because they're trying to fill up the Jedi archives, Cordova and Seer. All the characters are good though. Because Vader's just like thrown in, like he's not even like the main bad guy over in this story. That's why the Dagon character need. I think he needed more time because I actually like this character quite a bit. I like the universe. It's the same universe as I guess it's right. It's the time between episode 3 and 4. But I like what they're doing with these newer characters, Cal, Seer, Marin, and stuff. I do like what they're doing with them. I kind of like because they want to do the hidden path thing on this Tanalorr to keep the Jedi and the Force sensitive and everybody. The Empire's after safe. I assume if they make a third game, it's going to be a lot of that. Like I said, Star Wars loses a lot over these because it gets a little too complicated over time. You know, because they're adding in new characters, miraculously characters survived, so I can go on and on about that, but it doesn't bother me that much, but Star Wars is a bit muddled, I should say now. Because then you gotta like retcon things and do all this other crap. But this was good, I like this. I like the High Republic stuff thrown in. Like he's a Jedi from the Dagons, a former Jedi from the High Republic, so you're getting some stuff there, because Z is like an older looking droid, which is kind of cool. It's garbage. But yeah, I'm gonna go 8 out of 10 on this. I probably forgot some things. There's not a lot I hated about it, but I'm telling you, the reason I'm going in the 8, which is not a bad score, and not the 8.5, or even a 9, is because there was not enough exploration for me, and that's what I love about these kind of Star Wars games. I love visiting new planets, and there was really only 2. Coruscant was too small, Tanalorr was virtually nothing, and the other 2 space stations, while they all looked awesome, I wanted to see more of planets, you know. So that was a little frustrating, but like I said, you know, throw Vader in was kind of annoying. It's almost like fan service. Oh, look, here he is. Oh, but remember though, but like I said in the rant video, some people had theories that this took place like a month after he had lost to Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan show, so maybe he's a little weak. Who the hell knows? Because like I said, it downgrades his like myth. Like at this point, he's Vader. He should be dominating pretty much everyone outside of like an Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan trained him. He knows his moves, and somebody always has to have somebody, right? But I feel like it's not he loses a lot of these fights, but he gets his ass kicked in a lot and almost gets lucky, which is kind of annoying. But whatever. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't take anything away from the game outside of being a little annoying. The exploration stuff, to me, was, like I said, I wanted more planets. That's just me. Like, if there was one more big planet to explore, even if it wasn't as big as, like, the other big ones, but it was bigger than, like, a Coruscant and stuff, would have been nice. But, you know, the story was solid. My speaking about it probably translates more to an 8.5, but I'm telling you, for me personally, that I wanted more. Like, I felt like I wasn't satisfied with enough exploration, you know? Because that's what's such a cool part of the Star Wars shit is coming to these new planets and be like, oh, holy shit, I can't wait to go everywhere. But you only get that twice. The space stations, I'm not giving that to. Like I said, they look amazing, but... And I do like the look of the Empire type architecture and stuff when you're on certain things. Like, ah, yeah, this reminds me of the old school stuff. But everything else is there. I'm gonna go 8, just because of that. Ah, man, yeah, I gotta go 8. I can't like start going higher and everything. I'm acting as though 8's bad. 8's really good. But yeah, check it out though. If you're into Star Wars, check it out. If you like Fallen Order, check it out. If you're not into Star Wars, it's still a cool kind of open world game, and the Vader fight probably wouldn't matter to you. You'd be like, ah, whatever. Who's this guy? But anyway, yeah, 8 out of 10 for Jedi Survivor. This is in 3rd now, so we got this at 3, Spider-Man 2 at 2, and Ghostwire Tokyo at 1. But thanks for checking this out, and have a good day.